Namaskaram guys, welcome back again on our master data preparation lecture. So in the last video we saw how are we supposed to create permanent files for any company, and now we are going to see how are we supposed to create current file for each financial year. So the amazing fact is that I have given maximum content in here only, so you can refer this and you can prepare the clientele data for your client also. Okay, to start with, see, I have mentioned here the folders of the current file. So when I say current file, it will not be only 1 year or one financial year, it will be multiple financial years, correct? So what are we supposed to do? Under current file, we have to make financial year folder. So say for example, I am preparing this financial year, I am preparing this data for financial year 24-25. So I will create a folder with the name FY 24-25. which will give me clarity that okay, yes, if this thing has happened in the financial year 24-25, I don't have to go in 23-24 and search for this document. I will get it in the financial year 24-25 itself. So you create a distinction between two different financial year, which is the best thing which we can do. So financial year 24-25, you will create a folder. Once this folder has been created under current file folder, there are plenty of folders which I'll show you here, which you have to make. Okay, so to start with, any entity when they start their business, they will start with transactions. They will sell, purchase, buy certain assets. Okay, they will hire a team and all. So we have to record all this data. We should record, we should have a tracking of these things. So what we do for tracking it? We do accounting. So our starting point of any company is accounting. So first, after your 9th folder, 10th folder, that means the first folder of current year, current file will be of accounting data. So in accounting data, what all information we need from client, what all information client gives us, okay, or what all data we should be having to ensure that we are safe and the client is safe, we have to keep all the data here. So what I have mentioned in the bracket, create folder for each point. Say for example, bank statement, which is the most common document which we ask for which we ask from the client. So bank statement, you have to create a folder with the bank statement name. Then you have to create a folder of final tally backup. So entire year you are going to do tally, punching everything you will do. And once the tally is finalized, this is the final logged and sealed. So that tally you have to keep it here. So one folder you have to also create final tally backup. Third, during the year, how many invoices the client has raised for sales, you have to have the sales data as well. And he might have done so many purchases, so you have to have the data of purchases. So sales data and purchase data, if you have, you create a folder and keep everything there. Bank statement required, and sales data, final tally data, everything is required. So you have to maintain the folders like this. So in the accounting data folder, 4 subfolders will be created: bank statement, final tally backup, sales data and purchase data. These 4 folders will be created. And now under the bank statement, see, this is for bank statement I have mentioned. Under the bank statement, what you are supposed to do, bank statement should come monthly to you for verification and the review. So you have to create month-wise folder. So under the bank statement, you have to create month-wise folder. You have to create month-wise folder. Example, April 24, May 24, June 24, July 24, March 25. Likewise, it will go. I hope I am clear. So if you wish to see the October month bank statement, you have to click on the October month folder, you will get the bank statement. I hope I am clear with you. Same goes with the sales data and purchase data, because sales and purchase will happen every month. So you should be having the record for every month. So you are supposed to create this data again month wise. Sales, under the sales folder, month 1, M2, M3, M4, M5, likewise it will go. Final tally backup you should not create monthly basis. Once in a year, it is amazing, good for you also, for the client also. So once in a month, once in a year you are supposed to create the final tally data once it is finalized. So these data will come with you. Now accounting is done. Now what we do, GST has been taken by the client. So every month you have to do the GST compliances. So you have to create a folder of GST compliance, and under GST compliance, what are the major things which we do? That is R1 filing, 2A 2B reconciliation and 3B payment, correct? So you have to create these 3 folders separately. How many folders you have to create? 3 folders: GSTR1, GSTR2A, 2B and GSTR3B. So these 3 folders have been created. Okay, now what I have to do? I have to create a folder month wise. Sorry, I think there has been some mistake. Under GST compliance, I'll change it. Under GST compliance, you don't have to create 3 folder outside only. You have to go month wise here. So April month is there. So under April month, I need 3 folder: GSTR1, GSTR2B, 2A, 2B and GSTR3B. So I have given an example here. Under the month of April 24, these 3 folders will come. Under the month of May 24, these 3 folder again will take place. So in a month I should be getting all 3 data. So this arrangement has been done. So here I have mentioned month wise, not this wise. This folder will form part only after month. So first you have to mention month, and then you have to create 3 folder. M2 3 folder, M3 3 folder, M4 3 folder, M5 3 folder. Likewise you are supposed to create the folders. I hope I am done. So if you prepare data like this, it will be easier for you also, easier for client also to manage the data. And then comes the 12th folder, that is advance and TDS, advanced tax compliances and TDS compliances. So there are many entities, big entities, for them advanced tax and TDS compliances are mandatory, and for the small entities it is not mandatory only. So even if though it is not mandatory for them, please create a folder, blank folder. So what will happen? It will not disturb the flow of the data management. So there is a data, you prepare it. There is no data, still you prepare blank folder. Just have to go and check, nothing else. It will not disturb your flow. That's why I am saying. So you have to create a folder named as a TDS and advanced tax compliance. Under this folder, 2 folder will come. One folder separately will come for TDS compliance, and one separate folder will come for advanced tax compliance, because these 2 are different things. But ultimately it is a payment on your payment of tax on your income only. So we have kept this under one single folder named as TDS and advanced tax compliance. So once you have created this folder, now how are you supposed to manage the data? So I have given a sample here. You all know that TDS payment we do on a monthly basis, but we file return on a quarterly basis. Okay, so for that sake, what I have done, I have created a folder Q1, because TDS return will go quarter wise, TDS payment will happen month wise. So under Q1 there are 2 folder which I have to create. Under Q1 there are 2 folder which I have to create. One is payment folder, another is return folder. One is payment, another is return. Because what you do in the TDS compliance, you make the payment of tax in advance. What you do in the advance tax, you make payment of tax in advance. So for TDS, you do certain limit of transaction, you hit certain sections, you hit certain transactions, you have to file the TDS. You hit certain level of income, you have to file the return. So everything you have to do. So what I am saying, under Q1, 2 folder will come. One is payment folder, because you are making monthly payment. Another is return folder, because we are filing the return on a quarterly basis. So how it will happen, I will tell you. Under payment, because payment we are not doing for 1 month, we are doing for 3 different months. Okay. So what I have done, month 1, month 2 and month 3. Say for example, is the first quarter of the financial year. So it will be April, May, June. So you have to create a folder of April, May, June. Correct? Now you created the folder. Now before filing the return or before making the payment of TDS, you will do certain working, certain calculation under different sections. correct? So you will do those working, so those workings will form the part of your working folder. So these are your folders: working folder, final folder, working, final, working and final. So you can see I am keeping more folders, so in order to get more clarity, so that nobody should get confused. So M1 will be having 2 folders, working and final. In working, what I am supposed to keep? All the working files, all the JSON files will be here. And in final, which all challan I have paid. Say for example, you have paid the TDS under 2 sections. One is section 194I, another is section 194J. So for these two different sections, you have to generate 2 challans. You have to make 2 different payment, not a one payment for those 2 different sections. So in my final, I will find 2 challan, challan number 1, challan number 2. And how I am going to rename is, you don't have to put a lot of efforts. Very simple, it's very simple. Once you download the challan, it will have certain coding on it. But you don't know for which section it is. This challan is for which section? You don't know. So what you will do, whatever code is there, underscore, you will do underscore. If before naming it, you have to check the section. So you understood this is for section 194I. So underscore 194I, that's all. If it is for 194J, so underscore 194J. So what will happen? Without entering and without opening the PDF, I can see which challan for which section it has been kept. Very simple. So, and this you have to do for all the month, and now your 3 months are completed. Now you are supposed to file the quarterly return. So in return, again you are going to do certain working. Working will form the part of working, and once the return is filed, again acknowledgement will be generated, and that acknowledgement you have to keep in your final folder. That's all. Simple. And this is you are supposed to do for all the quarter. So how many quarters do we have in one financial year? It is 4 quarters. So it is with respect to Q1, same folder you will copy for Q2, Q3, Q4. Done. And then we come to the advanced tax compliances. Because we pay advanced tax on a quarter basis on advance. So after end of the quarter, we will not make the payment. Mid of the quarter only we are supposed to make the payment. So you just have to prepare only 4 folders, that is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and working payment, working payment, working payment, working payment. What is payment? Challan. What is working? How much amount is there and how you calculated it. That's all. There's many information you are supposed to keep in the advanced tax folder. So if there is a company for whom advanced tax and TDS compliances are mandatory, so you are supposed to create this kind of a folder. It will give you the detailed information. And then we will move to the next thing. Okay, so after TDS and advanced tax compliance, there are certain entities for whom payroll compliances are also applicable. So again, your next folder will be of payroll compliances, and under payroll compliances, you are supposed to keep PTEC, PTRC, PF and ESIC. You are supposed to create these 4 folders. Okay, once you created this 4 folder, now you are supposed to keep the documents properly and neatly. But many of you don't know how are you supposed to keep the documents. So see, I know you people are aware what is the difference between PF and ESIC, but many a time students get confused or staff gets confused what is the difference between PTEC and PTRC. So first let me clarify that. PTEC is for entity. Say for example, you have a company, PTEC is filed for company. You have LLP, PTEC is filed for LLP. You have a registered proprietorship firm, it will be filed for that. Partnership firm, not applicable. Okay, so these are the PTEC, and if there is a director of the company or designated partner of the company on whose salary TDS is not deducted, or they are not getting any salary, but because you are a director, you are liable to make the PF, you are liable to make the PT contribution. Now for director, we don't take any separate registration. For directors, we will, based on their PAN, we will file their return. That means if you are a director who is getting a salary, your monthly PT will be deducted and it will come under PTRC because PTRC is for employees. You are a director who is not getting any salary from your company, but you are a director in the company, so you are supposed to file the PTEC return based on your PAN. So with the PAN number, you are supposed to file your PT return. That means you are supposed to make 2,500 as a contribution to the government of Maharashtra. Okay, and PTRC is for employees. Whosoever employees are there in your company, in your organization, you are supposed to file PTRC return every month depending upon their salary. So PTEC and PTRCs are differentiated like this. So when I say PTEC is an annual compliance. PTEC is an annual compliance. So for company, if you are filing the PT return, and you are getting the challan, so how you are supposed to name the challan? So your company name will come _PTEC _challan. Done? No issues. If you are filing the returns for director, PTEC return for director, then director name _PTRC _challan. So for director, you are not going to select PTEC because PTEC for entity and for PTRC is for directors and the employees. So you are doing it for once in a year. So you will mention the name and you will get only one challan, and you have to keep it here like this for all the directors, whosoever is there. So for directors, if you create folder, it will be enough. Otherwise, this is also okay, but you have to mention the director name. Third thing, if we are going for PTRC of employee, then how you are supposed to do it? So for employees, you are supposed to create folder month wise, because PTRC is a monthly compliance for employees. Monthly you are supposed to deduct certain amount from their salary and deposit it to the department. So month wise you are supposed to prepare the folder. You have to keep 3 folders into it. One is client data, the data which you have received from the client. Second, because to calculate PTRC, you are going to do certain working. Working will form part of your working folder, and once the PTRC is filed, some challan will be generated to you, and that you have to keep in the final folder. That's all. Done. And this you are supposed to do for all the 12 months. And same goes with PF, because PF is a monthly compliances, monthly payment you have to do. So what you are supposed to do, again month folder, data which you have received from the client, because client will give you the data, and then working, what all working you have done to calculate the PF amount, and then the final. So once your PF is submitted, errors are resolved, downloaded the challan and made the payment, done. Payment receipt will come to you. So you are supposed to keep all the final data here. Same goes with ESIC. So if you prepare data like this, then your payroll compliances are done. Next comes, now this is annual thing. Annually you are supposed to prepare the financial statement for all the entity. So annually when you are preparing the financial statement, now client has given you all the data with respect to his company. So preparing the financial statement is easy. So what you are supposed to do, working file, where whatever software you are using, you will keep the software there, or if you are not using any software, then the working through which you have prepared the financial statement you will keep there. And once it is done, so you are supposed to keep the signed financial statement. Okay, so one folder will be of your working, second will be of your signed financial statement, and because it is a company, statutory audit is mandatory for the company. UDIN is also required. So UDIN you have to keep in a folder. So make a folder of UDIN and keep only one PDF as your UDIN. Simple. So this is how it will be. A Elite Gurukul financial statement. This is the PDF which is not signed. This is the PDF. B number is the PDF which is signed, and third is your UDIN. I hope I am clear with this till now. Rather than creating a folder for UDIN, I would suggest you, without creating a folder, because it is only one pager PDF, just keep your UDIN directly outside the folder. So your financial statement is your main folder. In working, your software data, your unsigned PDF will come, and for unsigned PDF you have to name it like this. And once the PDF is signed, you are supposed to keep it as a signed financial statement, and because it is signed, you definitely there is a UDIN. So UDIN you keep outside, simply mention the name as UDIN only, nothing else, no issues. Okay, done. And next we will move to the point number 15, now folder number 15, that is ROC. ROC is the most crucial department or most crucial division or most crucial compliance for any entity. So in ROC you have to be very careful. So for ROC we are going to file certain forms annually. What are those forms? Form AOC4, MGT7 or 7A and Director KYC. These three things are we are going to do annually compulsorily. Now it is included that what we say, DPT3 filing is also mandatory and MSME is also included into it. So I'll tell you how you are supposed to do it. Annual forms means which you are doing only once in a year. So there are two different folders kept here. One is for annual report, another is for annual form. Annual report means director report, auditor's report, director's list, shareholder list. If you have done CSR, then CSR form details will be there, or any other additional information which you wish to give to ROC. You have to keep all the reports here under annual report format. Okay. Then comes the annual forms. In annual forms, you are supposed to create three folders. One folder for AOC4, one folder for MGT7 and one folder for Director KYC. Done. These three folders will be created for annual forms. And now comes the event-based compliance. Now as you people are aware that filing of form MSME 1 is mandatory for all the companies who are dealing with the MSME dealers. Whether you have paid within 45 days or not paid, whether we have no liability, still we have to file because you have done certain transaction. Liability to pay is not there, but you have done the transaction with the MSME dealer, you are supposed to file the return. Okay. So here MSME filing happens twice in a year. So under event-based compliance, so whenever there is a change in the management, change in the auditor, change in the name of the company, change in the RO address of the company, addition of director, removal of director or share transfer, whatever thing happens in a company, everything will come under event-based compliance, under one umbrella, event-based compliance. What all event-based compliance has happened in that year, you are supposed to mention it here. I hope I am done with you. I hope I am clear to you. And when you prepare event-based compliance, and I already mentioned you that filing of form MSME 1 is mandatory. So from now onwards, all the companies for the financial 24-25, all the companies are going to file form MSME 1. So here form MSME 1 will also form a part of your event-based compliance and you have to keep it here. Okay. Under the event-based compliance. And then comes here MRL. It is a management representation letter. Certain representation company auditors takes from the client, those you have to keep it here. Why I have written here a note? It's only in case of a statutory audit. If this is a company to whom only statutory audit is applicable, this is a company to whom only statutory audit is applicable. So MRL with respect to statutory audit will be kept here. I hope I am clear to you. And now, how are you supposed to create the folder? Your folder will be annual report. Under annual report, you are supposed to prepare working and final, working and final. In working, you are going to keep all the Word file. In final, you are going to keep all the signed files which has been shared by the clients. For annual forms, you have to create, I said you have to create three folders, AOC4, MGT7 and DIR3 KYC. How are you supposed to name the files, not the folder name of file? It will be form AOC4. Sorry, it will start with Elite Gurukul, that is the company name or entity name, underscore form, underscore AOC4, underscore for which financial year file, you are filing it, and that you are supposed to keep it. So this file will be your unsigned file. then you have to attach DSC, then it will become a signed file. Then here you are supposed to add signed, 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 underscored form AOC4 underscored financial year 23-24. And because you are filing form AOC4 with the ROC, now challan will be generated because you have made certain payments to the ROC. So that challan also you are supposed to keep in this form AOC4 folder. So in form AOC4 folder, three things will come. One signed form will come, one unsigned form will become, where you don't have to mention whether it is signed or unsigned, and the last challan will come where you have to keep the challan as it is, no issues. Same happens for form MGT7 also. So MGT7 folder is created, unsigned form, signed form and challan will be kept like this. And for form DIR3 KYC, see, if it is the company which has been incorporated in the last year and this is the first time you are doing the KYC, so for each director you are supposed to fill the form, upload and complete the KYC. So if it is that case, then you have to create what? Director wise folder. Director wise folder, that means form DIR3 KYC is there. So form DIR3 KYC, under that director 1, director 2, director 3. So how it will look like? It will be like form DIR3 KYC. You have to create a folder like this, form DIR3 KYC. Under this you are going to prepare folder of director 1. Okay. Now you prepare the folder of director 1. Now under director 1, form will be there. Again, unsigned form, signed form, and then challan will come. So these three things you have to keep. If it is the first year or first time KYC, or whenever you are doing the KYC by filing the form. What if it is web based KYC? Then you don't have to worry much. If it is a web based KYC, so again you create a director wise folder, no issues. Create a director wise folder, director 1, and keep challan. Director 2, keep challan. Director 3, keep challan. Director 4, keep challan. Likewise you are supposed to do. So how it will help you? So if you want to see whether Aarti Vishwakarma as a director, her KYC has been completed or not, if yes, then where is the challan? Then you have to go to the folder, you will get the challan. Okay. If you keep all the challan at once, like 1, 2, 3 in a one folder, then for each director you have to open it and check it. For this director we have filed it. So better create a folder for each director, keep challan only. If form is available, keep form also into it only. I hope I am clear till now to all of you. If you think that I am speaking very fast or you are not clear about anything, you can rewind the video and you can check it again, and still you are getting any doubt, then you please post a comment on the YouTube. I will be trying to help you out in that matter. Okay. Then this happens with the annual compliance. If there is a company for whom DPT3 is mandatory, so your fourth folder will become for DPT3. Form DPT3. So I can assume that if you prepare so many folders, so you are aware for which form you have to create folder. So under annual forms, fourth form will come DPT3. Under DPT3, you are supposed to put two things, working and final. Under working, you are supposed to do certain working, because certain workings are required for filing of form DPT3. You will do working in the working folder. Once the form is filed, once the form is ready, it will come under the final. So unsigned form will come, signed form will come, and challan for the same will come under the final tab. I hope I am clear to you with these things. And now let us move to the event based compliance. So when I say event based compliance, that means it is happening on an irregular basis. If it happens when certain event happens in the organization, it will not happen if the event is not happening in the organization. So how you are supposed to keep the folder? Say for example, share transfer is the issue. So what you are supposed to do? You have to mention the event based compliance. So I am saying it is a share transfer. So I mentioned here as a main folder share transfer. So after going into event based compliance, I can see first transaction or first event that has taken place during the year is share transfer. Under share transfer, I am supposed to create three folders: client data, working, because you will do certain workings, certain work, certain documents you will prepare, and then comes the final data. Final folder you will keep it here. Okay. If you have issued shares to somebody, then again client data, working, final. If you had appointed a director, again client data, working, final. Okay, if you have changed the auditor, final data, working, final, sorry, client data, final and working. So this is how you are supposed to create folders for each event based compliances. If you mention this much, I believe your ROC compliances are taken care. Then comes MRL at last, finally MRL for statutory audit only. So here one will be working and one will be final. Final will be those which has been signed by the client, that will go in under the final folder. I hope till now I am clear to all of you. We'll move ahead with the next thing. And now few folders are remaining are after ROC compliance. Because company is filing ITR every year, so you have to prepare a folder of company ITR, company income tax. Again in company income tax you are supposed to create two folders. One will be working folder, another will be final folder. What all will form the part of working folder is Winman Excel if you are using any software, Winman file and JSON file. You have to keep it in the client folder only. And then in final you are supposed to put computation of income or statement of income. These two are one thing only. So computation or statement of income. If you have paid taxes to the income tax while filing the return, then self-assessment challan or tax challan will come, that you have to keep it here. Because you have filed your ITR, acknowledgement will be generated. So ITR acknowledgement also you have to keep in here. And because to file return you are referring to certain document which is available on the income tax portal, that is 26AS, AIS and TIS. So these three information also you are supposed to keep in the final folder itself. So it becomes very easy for professionals to print and give it to the sign, give it for signature to the client. So these documents you are supposed to prepare. And how are you going to name it? So working, so you are not worried about working, so you don't rename anything to the working. If it is your computation of income, mention company name underscore COI underscore FY underscore 2324. You can also write it as statement of income SOI, that will also be enough. And then if you have paid the tax, so tax challan underscore FY 2324. So likewise you are supposed to rename for each folder, which I have already given as an example here. Once the company's ITR is done, we also have to look into the director's ITR. Whether directors are filing their ITR? Yes, they are supposed to file. So here what you have to check, if director's ITR is filed by us, that is filed by Elite Gurukul, then these folders you have to create. Client data, because director will give certain information to us. Working, which we are going to prepare for company, we are going to prepare it for a director also. And the final, which all document we have kept as a final for company, those documents will also form the part of director. So this is not the company's document which you will keep here. This is with respect to director only. So if the director's ITR is filed, then your acknowledgement will be generated. If the director has paid taxes, your challan will be available. If there is a data in 26AS, TIS or AIS, then it will be downloaded. If there is no data, it will not be downloaded. So in that case, please do not keep any blank file as AIS, TIS or 26AS. And same here also, with the name of the director, here is a statement of income for financial year, you are supposed to rename it as it is, as we have done for the company. And then goes, if the director ITR is not filed by us, it is filed by somebody else, some other consultant, some other professionals are there to file the ITR of the director. But for the sake of being satisfied that there is ITR is filed, we should be having certain information, and that is the basic information, that will be the final information which you are supposed to take, that is COI, tax challan, ITR acknowledgement, 26 AIs, TIs and whatever it is. These information you should be having, and same you are supposed to keep it like this. So with this your director ITR is also done. And now we will come to the last part of the session, and in this we will see what all information we are supposed to keep. So after director ITR, now we are going to check secretarial records, which forms a very important document of any entity. So secretarial records means what all meetings has been conducted during the year, annual general meeting, board meeting, members extraordinary general meeting. So all those documents you are supposed to keep in this folder. So how are you supposed to maintain the data? I have given here a basics. So say for example, you know that every company should conduct minimum 4 board meeting in a financial year. So how we are supposed to do it? So we are going to make a folder of board meeting where all the details of the board meeting will form a part. Here we are supposed to create a working file. In working file, all the unsigned documents and all the word file of the documents which you have done, which you have prepared for your client, you are supposed to mention all it here. So for the first and the very foremost thing, that is the notice of the board meeting, because you are going to share the notice to the directors that the board meeting is held, the board meeting will be conducted on this particular day. So first thing, you have to prepare the notice of the board meeting, which includes agenda and everything. And then because meeting has been conducted, the what decision has been taken, you have to write it down in the board resolution. So board resolution will form the second document. Third is attendance sheet, who all directors were present in the board meeting. And fourth is board minutes. Board minutes, the actual outcome of the meeting of the board. You have to write everything. And now when you are preparing this, so what you are supposed to do, I have mentioned one word file for notice of the board meeting. So you have taken the one word file, you have mentioned it, you have renamed it as a notice of the board meeting. First board meeting held, and the notice has been shared, you mention that in the word file. For second board meeting, do not create the second word file. For second board meeting, continue where the meeting of the first, where the notice of the first board meeting ends. Then second will form below that, third will come below that, and fourth will come below that, fifth will come below that. Likewise, in one word file of notice of board meeting, your 5, 10, 6, whatever board meeting has been conducted by the board will be mentioned like this. For resolutions also, you are supposed to do the same thing. What all resolution in what all board meeting has been taken, every resolution should come in one page, in one word file, not page, in one word file it should come. So again you have to ensure first board meeting resolution, second board meeting resolution, third board meeting resolution, fourth board meeting resolution, everything should come in the first word file only, one word file only. And then same goes with the attendance and same goes with the minutes. So only in word document of the board meeting, only 4 word file I should be able to see: notice, resolutions, attendance sheet and the minutes. These four word files should be there, and because these 4 word files are there, now it has to be signed and certified by the directors also. So same thing will come in the final, in the same sequence, same manner, which is signed by the director here. Okay. So likewise, only 4 word file I can see in the working. So only 4 PDF file I should be able to see in the working, not more than that. Okay. And same goes with EGM. See, EGM happens when there is a substantial change in the company or their nature. So you conduct the members extra meeting. Okay. So again, to conduct the members extra meeting, you have to follow the same process. You have to give the notice, resolution has to be passed, attendance has to be maintained, and the minutes has to be maintained. So these 4 documents, again the way you have prepared it for the board resolution, board meetings, same you have, likewise you have to prepare for the EGM. That means first EGM happened, one word file, second EGM happened, same word file, second EGM you have to mention. That means first notice of the EGM went, second notice below that, third notice below that. We are preparing the minutes of the EGM. So first minute completed, below that new page, second minutes will continue. Okay. So we are not going to create multiple files in a single file. All the data will be compressed and kept. Okay. And same goes with the working of the AGM. AGM is mandatory. This may or may not contain part of your secretarial records. If EGM has happened, it will come. If EGM has not happened, it will not come. But AGM is mandatory for all the company. So again, notice of AGM, minutes of AGM, resolutions of AGM, attendance sheet is mandatory. So same one word file, one, and same final, one PDF, one PDF, one PDF and one PDF done. So secretarial records are done. Okay. And next, I have also mentioned here what I already explained to you in case you wish to read and understand. If there is a company to whom tax audit is applicable. So altogether you are supposed to create a folder of tax audit in which working, MRL and final you are supposed to keep. In working, your software, your Excel data will come to work upon like how we have come to this particular thing. If query was there, how it is resolved, what supporting you have taken, everything will go in the working file. In MRL, because again you are doing tax audit, so you are going to take certain representation letter from your client. So those representation letters should be there. Again, signed and unsigned PDF, a signed file will be there and Word file will be there with you. And at last, final. In final, what you are supposed to mention, that is the most important thing. So in final, I have mentioned Form 3CD Challan, that will come for the first and foremost. Form 3CD will come, 3CB, 3CD, and the UDIN, because for tax audit we are generating separate UDIN, so UDIN will also come. And one more thing will come here, I will mention it here, I will update in and I will share with you again, that financial statement. Why financial statement will come, I will tell you, because when we are filing the tax audit, we have to attach signed financial statement having the UDIN of tax audit. For stat audit, we have to generate different UDIN. For tax audit, we have to generate different UDIN. So already while preparing, what happens? Tax audit UDIN is mentioned here. So for tax audit UDIN, you have prepared a separate financial statement. You are supposed to keep it there. For stat audit, with a different UDIN will be in the financial statement folder. Here, which financial statement will come? Here only signed will come, first thing. Only signed financial statement will come, and that too having the UDIN. That too which UDIN? Tax UDIN, not stat UDIN. Only tax UDIN will come here. I hope till now I am clear to all of you. And now second last thing, that is CA certificate. Many a time client wants different certificate for the purpose of loan enhancement or loan taking. So if you have given any certificate to any of the client, again you have taken certain data from the client, which is your evidence to issue the certificate, and then you have done certain working will go under the working folder, and final with the copy of the UDIN. So in final you have to keep two things. One, your signed certificate which you have given to the client, and second, the copy of UDIN which you have generated. So these three will form the part of your CA certificate documentation. So if you have, how are you supposed to rename it? So if you have issued net worth certificate to the company, so company name underscore net worth certificate underscore financial year, whatever you have issued. Okay, and at last here I have mentioned point number 22 as a proposal letter including audit engagement letter. Most important document for any CA or any professional to get the audit engagement letter, which defines your scope of work on the fee charge for this. So there has to be, because we are giving it, so we are preparing it, so under working you are supposed to keep the Word file, and when this engagement letter is signed by your client, it will go under the final folder. So these many things will form the part of your current file, and these many files you are supposed to create every year, because these are the current files. So proposal letter also you are supposed to prepare every year. Client is asking for trademark registration proposal, you are giving it, signing it, keeping it with you. Okay, so everything should be in writing and kept with you, because ultimately it is you who is responsible, ultimately it is you who is accountable for the documents maintenance and signing it. So with this, for the company kind of a structure, we are completing our master data preparation. Only one thing is remained to explain you, that is Excel data, that I have already mentioned, that every year which Excel we are supposed to prepare. That Excel data I am going to prepare in the, I am going to show you how it is to be updated in the next video. Thank you so much for the time being.